Welcome back, my holy ones. Your dark father has returned. And this is getting into one of my favorites, one of my biggest musical influences. We're going to Nitzer Ebb, Lightning Man. Recently, Douglas McCarthy passed away. He's the lead singer of this iconic EBM, early industrial band. And I wanted to pay homage to one of my favorites, one of my heroes, and one of the greats, one of the pioneers in this whole underground movement of an early industrial dance floor shit. And I say Nitzer Ebb, you might say Nitzer Ebb, and we're both right. I just happen to be more right. It is Nitzer Ebb or Nitzer Ebb, but I'm happy to have you here. Happy to have so many of you returning, and gotten awesome comments, awesome feedback. This has really been a lot of fun. Stay tuned. If you have not yet, subscribe to the channel, like these videos, leave a comment, because what we have coming up, I'm really responding to a lot of your requests. There's going to be more Depeche Mode on the way, more Ethel Cain, Dead Can Dance, and a little hidden gem that may be forgotten, a little bit on the outside of some of this music, but still in the underground movement, stuff I grew up with, and I'm excited to bring back to the forefront. All right, well, let's not waste any time. You know, as I thought about which Nitzer Ebb song to react to, there's greats, there's Murderous, there's Join the Chant, but for me, Lightning Man was this song, and it's just one of the, to me, it encompasses everything brilliant about them and what sets them apart in a lot of ways. Now, I love all their stuff, really, I really do, even Big Hit, which people hate. But I love all this stuff, but with Lightning Man, I'll dig into this as we react. It's one of my favorites, and I just remembered when people would hear the song, it has artistry to it. It has his trademark, just full throttle energy and chaos. And it also has an element of artistry and really brilliance that I don't recall seeing in this genre really before or since. And we'll get into that as we watch. So let's watch Nitzer Ebb, Lightning Man. This is from 1990. If you are familiar with other Nitzer Ebb videos, this actually feels quite a bit different. A lot of their other ones, I mean, this is far more noir cinematic than the other ones. The other ones are very performance-based that I've seen. And they're just kind of like running all over the place. It's actually pretty charming. But this one immediately has a cinematic quality to it that is unique, and it fits this menacing song. What I love about this song is that it has that trademark bass line energy of Nitzer Ebb, but there's also that cinematic quality of it, and it's still dance floor, you know?
See, some stories told, what is it to tell? Well, some song has been sung, but none of the things. Let's spell it out. A, B, and C. Up and down from east to Z. You're not saying, you're not saying. From nothing to something, and something to nothing. From no one to someone, someone to same. Same old thing. Only way out, there's no way back. What can you do?
That's what I'm talking about. When is the last time you heard an industrial EBM goth club anthem with fucking trumpets, saxophones, whatever the hell is a woodwind section? I don't even know if those are samples. I don't know if they brought in people to play, but that's what makes this particular song, I feel, so ingenious. And who knows, this was their introduction. I know they worked with Flood as a producer a long time, and I'm not sure exactly who had what input, but that to me is just like, what, this other level. Now I will absolutely blast Murderous and Join the Chant and anything else, even stuff from Ebbhead that I love, Sugar Sweet and Godhead. But this one it's really, there's an artistry to it that I think is just like, what the hell is happening when I first heard this song? Douglas McCarthy is such an awesome performer, and I've seen them live. I'm so glad I did, that I was able to see them before he died recently. I seen him twice, actually. I saw him as Nitzer Ebb, and then with his other side project, oh gosh, I'm gonna feel like an idiot now. Black Tape? I think that's what it was called. Black Lines? I'm blanking. Please, if you know what his other side project he did, put that up. I saw him in LA with that a few years back. He is just pure energy, and he brings it. And I remember when I saw, this was way back for when I saw, not way back, not like their heyday, but I saw them around 2010, I think, 2011, when they were kind of returned to form with their album. And this was before, right now we're in a really interesting and amazing sort of resurgence of a lot of this music, a renaissance, if you will. And I saw them at this club. It wasn't hitting that kind of popularity. They weren't getting their due, and it was in Minneapolis, and there were maybe, I don't know, maybe 50 to 60 people. It wasn't a big show, but man, he brought it. Like, it didn't matter. It didn't matter that there was not a big crowd there. He just took over, and his energy just absolutely blew away the room. I remember specifically, I was hanging out, watching, and there was like a dude, you could tell there's like these three guys that were hanging out, and one of them was total frat boy. Like, he was like, he just got dragged along to the show by his friends. They're like, hey, check out this band, they're probably cool. And he's like, whatever. And I remember watching him like turn the corner and he was just like, holy shit. It was great. He's like, these guys kick ass. And it was just Douglas and Bond. I can't remember if they had a drummer. I think they might have had a drummer. Anyway, just the amount of energy. It's like I'm gonna stop talking. Let's continue on. I have plenty to say.
So you got up, and you ran, and you run to get up. From Chinatown, to slip right down. Soul's town and every downtown. Drinking friends, who've drunken bars, who've drunken friends, in drinking bars. Waiting for the lightning man to strike. Icing on your cake. When I knew you were coming, I cut your goose.
Okay, we need to stop right there. All you Nitzer Ebb fans, there seems to be a debate about what that line is. Let's settle that in this comment section. Is he saying, all my life, and I grew up with another big fan of Nitzer Ebb, and we always thought he was saying, I cooked your goose, which is an amazing line. It makes no sense. I don't know what that means unless it's like there's a term that I cooked your goose, which, in reference to what's happening here is like, I prepared a meal for you. He's kind of like, come on in. Or is he saying, I cut you loose? I know I can go on websites I don't know if those are sourced. I think I had the CD Showtime, and there were no lyrics in that, from what I recall. It was just an open page. Iconic artwork on that, by the way. And there were no lyrics in there. So I need to know, we need to settle this once and for all. Is he saying, I cut you loose, or I cooked your goose? Because my whole life, I thought, what a fucking line. I cooked your goose? That's amazing. Now, I don't want to just believe something because I want to. I'd like to know what the real line is. And overall, just the lyricism in this song is bananas. It's absolutely insane. And I love that. I love that this song has such a chaos to it. And it feels really threatening in a way. I don't know if we're in or out and he's performing that way. I think we can all interpret what we all think it means in a different way. I have my own interpretation. But the fact that he's just like saying these crazy, nonsensical, in a way, these lines, and just shouting, it's just like he literally is acting like it. He's just like a menacing, chaotic, drunk man who you're like, I don't know what's going on. And that infuses the song with such power.
Baby, come to daddy. Baby, come to daddy.
Okay, you want to talk about scary music? I know maybe some of you are Marilyn Manson fans. I think Marilyn Manson is a piece of shit. And I think he's totally bullshit. I think he's just shock rock kind of stuff. Let's not get into too much Marilyn Manson, but just generally with like a lot of these over the top kind of shock rockers, overly, grotesque makeup and blood and guts, and they're all trying to be very scary. But when this dude starts going off on Baby Come to Daddy, that feels terrifying. Am I right? Do you feel that? Because I remember I had other friends and I would play the song and they're like, they were freaked the fuck out. It just goes to show you, you don't have to be, you don't have to blast the guitars and like go over the top with imagery. You can imbue something with some real fucking menace with the right lines, the right energy. Now, not everyone can pull off what Douglas McCarthy pulls off. So we got a rare one with him, and I just want to appreciate his brilliance in this.
Baby, come to daddy. Daddy's come to baby. Daddy's come to baby. Come to daddy. Easy. You shove it back where it came. Easy. You never let yourself down. You better be careful out there. You be careful out there. You better be careful out there. You be careful. You ain't gonna get far. You be careful out there. You ain't gonna get far. You ain't gonna get far. You be careful out there. You might be careful out there.
There's another thing I feel that sets them apart from many of the contemporaries of that age and even many of those who are in the resurgence of this sound. There's a funkiness. I don't know if you can detect that. Like there's just a rhythmic element to Nitzer Ebb, even though it's like a lot of times it's this driving beats and bass lines, but there's there's a certain element of funkiness to it that like makes it even, that gives it a little more of that dance edge than just like a lot of what people do today or even in the past would just like, kind of eighths and just simple bass lines and simple beats. And vocally as well. So they just, he's almost like this anarchic rapper in some ways, like especially back in this era where there was just like this underground on the streets edge to things that gave it a different kind of power than I think some of the kind of the overly slicked goth rock, even industrial or whatever it might be. Just a lot of things today. And I don't think you can I don't think you can fake that. I think these guys grew up in, really rough blue collar environment, and they're just translating that with such fervor. Love it. And that's the piece de la resistance, that piano. Again, this is so, in many ways, subversive in how it escalates an edge and a mayhem within this genre. These jazzy instrumentations with the thumping bass and the nasty bass line and the beat, and these jazzy horn sections, and then so many times the common way to kind of escalate is like layer in the guitar, bring an extra layer of like high pitched scream or something like that. But they go to the piano, the age old classic piano, and it's like, this is genius. There's really no other song that I have come across that has any of these qualities, and Lightning Man is brilliant. I realize just now I'm watching the 4.5 minutes. I think the original version is much longer, right? This must be a music video edit. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the original, on the album version is like 6 minutes. So interesting that we have a music video edit.
Come to daddy, come to baby, baby.
Hell yeah. Oh my God. Great cinematography. I really love how this was shot. Love that last little scene of him running towards the light. Awesome cinematography. It's like straight out of like it's like out of a Humphrey Bogart, film. So, but much more dangerous sounding. So, this is my all-time favorite Nitzer Ebb song. I love so many of the other songs, as I've said. Showtime is a great album. I love That Total Age. I'm a big fan of, actually my first CD I got from them, interesting, was Ebbhead. And I remember picking that up at I don't know if you guys remember this one, CD Warehouse. You ever get that? I got that out of the used section, as I did many others. So let me know what you think about this song, this video, Nitzer Ebb in general. Just want to say, Douglas McCarthy, you'll be sorely missed. You are a true genius of your craft and a pioneer of the art form. And until I'll just say, speak on a personal note, because some of you know I do my own music. I didn't realize, because I was listening to this at very formative years, age 12, 13, 14, and I didn't realize how influential he was on me. I wasn't like cognizant of it. In some of my lyricism, and even at times when I get louder and do some shouting. But I will say, I can't pull off that kind of energy. That takes so much energy. And he does that on like every song. And so, what a beast. Thank you, Nitzer Ebb. If you want to see me react to more Nitzer Ebb, drop that in the comment. Otherwise, make sure you're subscribed. There's a lot more cool stuff coming through. Also, if you want to get yourself some really amazing Vampire Cowboy merch, come on, focus. It's in my face. There, almost focused. Anyway, a lot of cool stuff. There's a link to the Vampire Cowboy store below. Great shirts, mugs, and even a hat, sweatshirts, all that nonsense. So buy my bullshit and make me rich. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me. It's been great to watch this, one of my all-time favorites, and I will see you in the next one.